Hey, fun fact. So today the power went out for over an hour. Sister and I went to Burger King. It was a great trip. And my PC didn't turn on. So be glad that I actually got things to work because this video might not have happened at all. So today we're talking about the Walloper, and with it will come some of the most confusion I've ever had with a weapon in knowing what Epic wanted us to do with this thing, and probably my most unique perk recommendation to date. So let's get right into it. This is a slow swinging, high impact, high damage hammer that is very, very unique in that it shares the qualities of the Storm King's Fury, where it can lunge forward. I know the Guardian's Will fans are out there, but it's a hardware just like the Storm King's Fury. So if you use this in the Storm King fight, I think it could be okay against the Horn, but it's going to be very slow swinging, and I would never recommend it for that. So let's get straight into the perks, because I didn't record a lot of gameplay because I did not know what to do with this weapon. Right before we get into it, big thanks to Eternal Sky for dropping me 3 copies of this. He's a very nice guy in our Discord. If you join them on our Discord link below, you might be able to chat with him. Very, very friendly, and he has a lot of reperk from grinding endurance, so he was able to give me 3 copies of this. So starting off with the first one is just kind of a fun build. He rolled double heavy attack efficiency on this, not knowing that there's actually a third option at the very top. That's completely unnecessary, even without any serious energy regeneration. This is just Dino Southie on the side. As you can see, he's just in my support. This was almost infinite heavy attack spam, and I thought this would just be like a funny build for getting around the map, but it actually ended up being really decent at actually eliminating enemies, and that's going to influence my opinion on some of these recommendations later on. But I just wanted to show you that it's possible, and you can lunge with this thing, and it's kind of a fun build. And one of the builds that I thought was going to work a little bit better than potentially a normal crit build was attack speed, double damage, damage to slowed and snared. So of course we're matching that 6 perk down there, but this was very good swing speed, but really not amazing damage. And I thought it would get a lot better with the crit build, but it didn't. It was like a slower swing speed with what felt like the exact same damage. I'll be frank, I didn't really do the math on this weapon. I didn't think it was completely necessary, but from real world experience, the crit build was just slower, and it crit for more damage. That was nice. And when I heavy attacked, that did a lot of damage, but it didn't really impress me. I know crit build is kind of the default for these weapons, but if you can't roll attack speed, crit rating, crit damage, which is one of the reasons the Storm King's Fury is so phenomenal, is because it's a very hard-hitting weapon, but it has fantastic perks. And I'm only showing this weapon because its lunge is very similar, and it's basically like the Crown hardware weapon. It's a very high swing speed with high damage. It's what you want. But Epic has not allowed us to do attack speed, crit rating, crit damage. And if that's possible in the future, that is definitely a great way to go on this weapon. I highly recommend that, but as of now, attack speed is occupied by our other crit slots, so I can't really recommend that. But I can't really recommend attack speed double damage here either, and that is where I will propose a very unique build. So attack speed double damage and a crit build are the standard. These are like what I think most people would go with just by default, but what I'm going to propose to you guys today is that you use attack speed for the swing speed, keep the damage on the bottom, and then use heavy attack efficiency in the second perk slot, and then at the very bottom, I'm not kidding you, I actually recommend doing damage to stunned, staggered, and knocked back targets, because like I said, heavy impact, heavy damage, a very, very spammable heavy attack. You might need 2 heavy attack efficiencies to spam it as much as I would like to, but what I'm proposing is that you use the heavy attack as much as possible, and then maybe use that attack speed damage to get some normal damage, polish off, finish off whatever you're just attacking, and then clean up the crowd, because that heavy attack is very, very decent damage. It stuns and knocks back almost everything, so you can get a lot of extra damage, because that stunned and knockback, if I can actually pull up a screenshot on my side here, is actually 15% more damage than the slowed and snared. So if that's going to be happening very frequently, you might have a very decent build here. But beyond my crazy perk recommendation there is one final loadout that's actually really, really viable and kind of cheating, because I don't like using Totally Rockin' Out for this stuff, and you can probably already tell where this is going, because Totally Rockin' Out pretty much makes any weapon good. I did use it on my Argon Axe video, but that was kind of because that's a very kooky weapon, and I'll let that video explain in the link below. But with the Walloper, you will not have that attack speed, but you can go double crit damage at the top with damage on the bottom, just, you know, normal build. Maybe you can even do heavy attack efficiency and spam that as well. But the catch here is that Totally Rockin' Out here will actually buff your attack speed and allow this to be a pretty usable weapon overall, and that might might give you an extra option if you're trying to really make this weapon work and you wanted to make the Walloper worth the investment. Unfortunately, what I'm recommending here is kind of like the best of the worst. This is not a weapon that I think gets much use for a reason. I don't see it pulled out very often, but it is kind of a special weapon, as it's sort of part of the trio of the pirate weapons that we have not received. The bundle bus received many rounds of hype. We were hyped about this weapon for over a month. The bowler, very cool weapon. Video on that as soon as it's out. In fact, if you're watching this, you've probably already seen that, so link to that below. And then the Walloper was the last weapon that they did not release, along with all the other weapons in the llamas, which is kind of weird because the Corsair is like a better melee in like every single way. So I don't know what they think is so special about the Walloper, but that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Use code Mista to check out if you want to help support the channel. I've never ever plugged this in a video, but if you really want to help support the channel and you have the means, try becoming a channel member. I have a join button, or at least I should. There are quite a few members on the channel. It's linked in every single video. If you guys want to get some perks in the streams, get some custom emotes, roll in our Discord, green name in the streams. I think YouTube will be allowing custom emotes in the chat someday. That's not announced, but it's got to be coming. There's no way. You can already see member badges in the comments, and it really does go a long way in helping support me. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day. And then